Alright everyone, this is Mr. Ironman here, coming in for the second game of the night between the retirees. We got Aardvark, Head Crash, Explosive, and Exodus on the good team in these colors as follows, and then we got Bonsi, Toby, and Protosser on the evil team. Without further ado, let's begin. We just left off the last game with a pretty decent showcase of a autonomy into even mule build by Western Gondor. It worked out pretty well for Explosive, who was on the faction at the time, so let's see if this works out for the next player, although I don't think he's actually going for autonomy this game. In the north side of the map, we have Aardvark going in for some of the standard defensive rotates as elves. Meanwhile, Explosive is trying to defend Western Gondor against a Khamûl-empowered Protosser. Protosser has been playing this build quite a lot. He really enjoys the strengthened Khamûl in these cases. Meanwhile, on the south side of the map, we have Bonsi and Toby going in for a double on Eastern Tharbad, trying to grab the money from that spawn, it seems. Meanwhile, Head Crash going in on a Wayne Rider encampment. Bit of a pretty standard opening, all things considered. Eastern Tharbad, although it at its inception was pretty much the first target almost always for evil, it is not always targeted these days. It is a pretty even 33% split. I think like 1/3 of games you'll see early pressure on Eastern Tharbad. Meanwhile though, we do see Exodus and Aardvark going in on troll shots as a double. Both stun and catapult goes off on the spawn with the Cardolan heroes. Seems like they are trying for a very quick and very decisive destruction of the spawn, and indeed, with that quick rotate from elves covering Cardolan, they are able to strip out every single cannon and then some around the spawn, not even bothering finishing off the spawn just yet, instead trying to grab some of the outer cannons while elves is here. That taking advantage of that time, being as time efficient as possible with that push, was very, very useful for them. Meanwhile, though, on the south side of the map, we have Bonsi and Toby trying to go in on left wing, but both of them have actually lost quite a lot of HP on their heroes and are forced to retreat early. That really is the big use of HP in this game. If your hero is tankier, like 2000 HP as opposed to 1300, technically if you're not dead yet, you're using the same hero. But the thing is that when it comes down to risk, having to beef your hero means that you can continue a push longer than you would otherwise, because the risk profile is not yet critical to continue that push. It also means you don't have to sit around healing in inopportune moments quite as often. If with a higher HP hero, you have a bit more leeway with that as well, and that's the real use of having a really chunky hero with like HP buffs. Meanwhile, in the center of the map, we have Austere, Minaglar, and Erenborn going for a early clear of Eastern Gondor. Exodus doing the patent-pending stutter step mass strat to soak as many cannon shots as possible with his mass. South side of the map, though, Toby is going in on the south side of Exodus' spawns, clearing out these cannons by the river, making the vision situation for Cardolan quite harder to contest with. Meanwhile, by Western Gondor, we do see all of the cannons stripped out. That is the big advantage of Khamûl Power. Typically, you are able to take, and look at that, Argaleb finished off barely, I believe. I think the Khamûl Power damage buffs were able to take out Argaleb there, because I think that was barely to the wire, a kill on Argaleb. Yeah, 100-0 for recall. I think that dang. Yeah, that's the big advantage of the DPS that you gain from this early in power. And now Western Gondor is gone and Argaleb is down. This is going to be a very smooth game indeed for Protosser. Meanwhile, we got Bonsi in the center of the map going in on Mikiriaf with Toby. Nice coordinated rotate. Now we do have Aardvark also in a very nicely coordinated counter rotate coming in to chase him away. Smoke does get recalled out alongside the EM hero ball shortly thereafter. Seems like Exodus was able to pick off a medic though, which is good for the good team. Toby is just trying to intimidate Head Crash by flying his ARB over him. Now, granted, he does actually recall in his Hero Ball, but sometimes what I like to do to mess with people is just recall a single Marine or something and get them to recall out. Waste like half a minute on their end. Center of the map over here, Eastern Rudar being pushed in again by Exodus. He has bought the Starline Mercenaries, again doing the Stir Step thing to try and siege this spawn as efficiently as possible. Southeast side of the map, Protosser teams up with Toby to take out Amon Laha. A lot of pressure on Western Gondor this game. Despite not having Gon autonomy, they are still trying to take out all the auto spawns of Gondor. Meanwhile, all of these outer cannons are being stripped, but in the meantime, while Evil is preoccupied in the south of the map, Exodus can go to town on Eastern Rudar, and actually Arvar can also go to town on some of these exposed Angmar cannons, trying to make any future rotates or future dives a little bit harder for Evil to detect. He notices the Mount Graham gas over here, so now Good probably knows that that is the play in the future to target. Protosser and Toby sitting in the south of the map still. They have finished stripping most of these cannons. Once this cannon goes down, it's just a matter of sitting around and letting Protosser zone for Toby while Toby finishes off the spawn. North side of the map, Eastern Rudar is completely stripped and now pokeable. It does look like Toby recalls out from that head crash pressure, not wanting to take the risk of losing a low hero there. Eastern Rudar goes down to Carlin by the 10-minute mark. Very nice pressure and very nice progress by the Carlin player this game, despite having a little bit of pressure on him at a minute here half. We also see Wing Rider encampment going down very soon now that Head Crash has the extra space without the evil factions pushing him at Amon Laha. Toby does recall on top of him, does chase him away, lickety-split, very fast. He did grab Nazgul already, of course, so it is going to just be money, effectively, for the Western Gondor player. Kurnir does come out for Head Crash over here, a nice boon to his DPS on this hero ball of his. And now we are going to see the next plays in this game. We also see Lossoff going down for Explosive, the very meta play for sure. What's up? Nice addition to his hero ball. Gives him a bit of actual survivability against Gulf Bomb and Kamul Orb, which is very nice, especially with the lack of his strong heavy-hitting DPS in this form of Argaleb. Argaleb's DPS does not seem very high, of course, but the thing is that he has very front-loaded damage, which makes him very good at poking and kiting. Dung Chief goes down to that attempted trade by Head Crash that doesn't even become a trade. Instead, he almost grabs Moot Lord of Ended Wife at 51 HP remaining. Kurnir barely making it out. They're alive. And the Lord of Pin of Galen out of position, but he actually grabs a Dunabeth for the Quiet in exchange for Kurnir. I believe Kurnir got chased down by the mass because he just stopped just short of those trees. But with that very greedy play into the hero ball, Lord of Pin of Galen does pick up a Dunabeth. Nicely done by Head Crash. Melville, though, does go down in an attempted trade for Rogash. Aardvark, or Bonsi, I mean, has recalled out Rogash here. If we look back in his base, we should probably see him at red HP healing. I do not see where the Misty... Alright, just take on faith that Rogash is somewhere healing. Protosser does get forced to recall out as his Misty Mountains recalls beforehand. Regardless, though, that was a good push in the north of the map, possibly actually making up for the loss incurred by Evil Men. Head Crash still has his 3 starting heroes, and now he's going to have a very easy time sieging down the rest of Evil Men with the higher levels that they're starting to come into. Meanwhile, we got Toby over here trying to finish off Amon Laha. The work was started quite a while ago, but not finished. Ooh, Moot Lord going almost down to the explosive hero ball, but with no arrow range arrows are in range, goes off, finishes off the Moot Lord of Ended Wife. I thought he was not in range. That was kind of odd. And with that, yeah, Evil Min is almost completely neutered now. He has Walder and Khan the Wayne Riders. Khan does have armaments, so he is a fairly strong hero, all things considered, but it's not the best position to be in as Evil Min for sure. South side of the map, though, Left Enemy does get one push by Bonsi. What was started at the start of the game does get finished off here. The outer spawns of Gondor are finally destroyed, but one has to wonder, was it worth it? They spent a lot of effort just to get these two unupgraded spawns, and since Headcrash did decide to be a meta slave and not go for autonomy, it is not necessarily the biggest wound to Western Gondor's capabilities.
Our allies are being attacked.
Exodus now going in for Dunlin, being very diligent about sieging down the Evil Min player.
Our allies
North of the map, Protosser attempts to spar against Elves and Arfadang without too many results, all things considered. Meanwhile, south of the map, Pinef Galen does go down, it seems, to this next push by Bonsi in support with Toby. Toby has built up quite a lot of mass, so this push is going to be pretty smooth for the Evil faction. And doing the smart thing here of delaying the kill on the spawn to make sure the low-hanging fruit cannons are destroyed. Good zoning by Toby, a little bit of telepathy here being applied. Toby knows to zone out the red and white players while Bonsi finishes off the Pinef Galen spawn. Since red is pretty weak right now, they are not able to directly engage and chase it off. Instead, they have to wait for Evil to not really have anything to do anymore before they recall out.
Our allies are being attacked.
Where does it hurt? Go on.
Our allies are being attacked. Our allies' base is under attack. Our allies' base is under attack. Our allies
Center of the map, Dunlin goes down to that finish by Exodus with Headcrash in the area to potentially zone.
Our allies are being attacked.
Meanwhile, Protosser over here is preparing potentially for an attack on Fornost. Protosser is fully balled up. I don't think he's lost much in this game. Yeah, Golfenbull's still alive, so yeah, he has everybody except, of course, Nazgul. Meanwhile, Thranduil goes down the east side of the map. That's a really good pickup for Evil. They were needing something to even the balance, and that might have been it. LoTR does go into the Evil Min hero ball as well, bringing Toby back to 3 heroes, which is actually quite a lot. It's enough to deal with basically red and potentially white as well.
Where does it hurt?
Headcrash now continuing to attack near the south of the map, trying to take out Druid Viewer over here. In the center of the map, we do see a bit of aggression by Bonsi onto the Tharbad area. Smaug is a little bit low, he's going to have to be careful with that, but with a delayed response, it seems, by Exodus, the spawn is probably going to go down here. Not enough cannon coverage anymore to prevent the kill of the spawn. That being said, Exodus is being quite aggressive here, trying to poke as much as he can. Bonsi is a little bit claustrophobic here. A lot of high surface area heroes in a small space here, but with the angle right here with Gorkill, he should be able to finish off the spawn. And right behind him, Walder with the rest of Evil Men warps in to finish off the deal, zone a little bit, and it seems like they are trying to go for Evil Ost, but Good denies it in time. So that is a potential transition plan for Evil being denied and a Good Ost coming down. We also see an Evil special transport at the center of the map taken out by Aardvark, found out of position and destroyed. Exodus decides to spend all of his money and send it to Elves instead of grabbing potentially one of the upgrades on Ost. Potentially the right move is the upgrades on Ost are very costly, so they tend to be pretty situational.
Our allies' base is under attack.
Fortifications are destroyed on Evil Min Hiriath. That is going to be the center of Cardolan completely open. That will make a potential attack on Londyre and even Erenborn a bit easier for the later stages of this game. Meanwhile, we do see Protosser over here trying to spar once more against Explosive, but it does seem to be more of a Cold War, neither side actually moving in to engage. East side of the map, Bonsi tries to go in for Mirkwood. It is going to be a relatively late Elven King's Halls, as Bonsi has been spending the early stages of this game rotating instead. Karn Doom's Shields comes out. Protosser taking some of the leaves out of the KR meta, going for Mount Graham up and Karn Doom's Shields. He doesn't seem to like grabbing extra heroes on this faction. Exodus and Aardvark go in to chase away that player at the Dol Guldur side of the map. Now they're going back up to try and deal with Bonsi as he tries to grab a couple damage shots off on the fortifications near Mirkwood. Meanwhile, Protosser goes in for the kill on Fornos, being chased down by Explosive, but with the Lesson Hero Ball and such a fat stack of mass for Protosser, he is able to zone this pretty well, but he's taking a lot of cannon shots near the top side, and he is being boxed in quite well by Explosive. Now with Aardvark in the area, he is forced to retreat, and that is a Fornos push reflected. Now, a lot of the cannons did go down, but I assume that Protosser would have liked to deal a little bit more damage, considering that he did build up to almost full mass for that push. Headcrash is in position over here, going for this play up here. EM is almost completely destroyed at this point, only being left on Endedwife as his sole remaining base. He might want to target some new base, or he might just keep trying to rat and do stuff by himself with just his hero ball. Now we do see this double being prepared between Bossy and Toby on the Eric side of the map. Goop goes down to finish off some of the mass that Headcrash has access to, and now this is going to be a attempted attack on Eric, but Explosive is in the area. He doesn't have a ton of hero damage, but LoTR flies a little bit too close and gets targeted down by all those heroes and all those cannons. Uvafa also goes down in this attempted engage. Chief of the Lostov does get focused down, but none of the good heroes go down in that engagement as the entire Misty hero ball goes down, except I believe Rogash. Protosser does arrive to finish off the job, but it seems like he is a little bit too late, and his teammates have jumped the gun, having lost everything in the earlier part of that push. Good gameplay, good coordination between Explosive and Headcrash there. Protosser and the remnants of the evil hero ball are going to try and salvage what they can with this push to try and push all the way to Lambadon to finish off the Western Gondor player. Protosser definitely has the scariest hero ball right now, but with all of these factions getting here to assist with this push, actually no, it is still just Arthedain and Western Gondor. They spent all of their strength over there finishing off the Misty hero ball, so there is a very good chance actually that Evil is able to push all the way until Lambadon, especially with the reinforcements that Protosser has wisely brought in with his special transport. Protosser making the best of a bad situation by trying to close out this kill, but with Walder almost going down, but Rogash is gonna go down to the explosive ball. That mass deals a lot of damage, and Great Goblin gets chased down as well. Protosser trying to salvage this, but with the ship falling apart around him, he is unable to finish off and carry this engagement, and that is a decisive victory right there for the good team. Bonsi being completely decimated there is, I believe, just game losing for the Evil team. I'm not sure what they can do at this point to finish off the game. If they were able to preserve Rogash and Great Goblin, finish off Lambadon there, it would have been salvageable because that would have been a very high impact rotate, but with just the expert positioning from Explosive, utilizing his low resources, he was able to just straight up completely deny that push. Now we are going to see Galleys of Umbar being bought here, but it is a pretty expensive Galley of Umbar with only these two spawns being bought. They grab the expensive Argimel Cod, and he tries to do something cheeky with the actual ability and the right click on Adderhill, but if he's not careful, he's just gonna lose it immediately to the rest of the Western Gondor heroes. And that right there is a little bit of a Toby moment. And with that, GG is called, Bonsi leaves the game, and presumably Protosser and Toby are gonna follow.